Broken facts still acting like a helpless nig. Unidentified lies from a dirty pig. Feature pippin still sipping, it's the life you seek. Grasp knowledge without the root, yo, your shit is weak. Confused as to who you let come inside. The precaution you lose is due to fratricide. Non-fiction book bitchin', you can't get enough. 3D, you're black, you're not black enough. New consumer gadgets, now you gotta have it. New trends are in for your family friends. Non-conscious acting, baby Bible packing. Black God, you're lacking. Goddamn.
So my man Professor Griff is coming back on the scene, and those of you youngins that don't know, that was the Minister of Information for Public Enemy. The dude has a channel called Serious Minds, and he is a brilliant leader. Absorbs something every time that guy has spoke on a record. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today. This is BitPusher doing my little vlog thing, just because, you know, it's quarantine. I'm working on some beats and I don't have a whole hell of a lot else to do. So first thing I wanted to show you before I get into just kind of screwing around, I forget what that. You seeing this? Audio Kit Pro Synth 1. This is one monster ass modular synthesizer, man, and I highly recommend peeping this thing out because it's free, and I'm generating, this thing has all kinds of different presets and options, but it just produces so many different sounds. I mean, I've never encountered a synth that has so much capability. I'm using a lot of this to I'm recording samples for myself, kind of sequences, short sequences, samples, and effects, and dropping them into my tracker for some of the tracks I'm working on right now. Free and open source, and this thing blows away. I mean, this thing's, it's you gotta check it out, y'all. This is dope as hell. Yeah, I have a massive library of samples. I've bought one or two over the years, like, you know, paid for them for a complete selection of drums, all kinds of percussion and synths and pads and stuff. I've got some free ones, and I've also recorded some of my own, from Nano Loop, from LSDJ, and of course from this one here. This thing is just a monster. So how I did it is right from my iPhone. You can plug the lightning cable in, plug it into your Mac. I don't know if it does the same on PC with this. I'm sure there's a way, but on the Mac, right? You just fire up QuickTime and hit New Audio Recording, and it will do a digital recording of your output from your device over the lightning cable, guaranteed perfect sound quality, right? So it's crystal clear, and it's excellent to use for getting sequences and sounds and recording those. Take the final recording, put it in Audacity, chop it up to exactly where you need it to be, and then boom, you have a fantastic sample. So I just wanted to take a sec to actually point this one out and give these guys a shout, because there's a big ass team of people working on this, and it's open source, and it is just fantastic, man. That's all I can say about it. And then I want to also show you this site here, 16bits.org. This is the home of the guy that wrote, that's working on the Fast Tracker 2 clone that I am working on this next album in. So this is totally free to download. I mean, they're both pretty intuitive, but I think just to sit down and get into it, Milky Tracker is also a free one. That was the first desktop tracker that I got into, and it's incredibly easy to use. See, it hasn't been updated since 2018. I'm not sure what else they can really do to it, though, other than give it maybe the ability to add some more effects or do some more things to samples or the such. But one of their goals is to try to keep perfect absolute compatibility with Fast Tracker 2. At least if I understand correctly. If I'm wrong, you're welcome to correct me. But they wanted to, you can take a module from this and drop it into the original Real Fast Tracker 2, and that shit will play exactly as you did it. But anyway, both of these are free, and that's the software I'm using. So if anyone actually is interested, this is where you get it. Once you have some wave file sound samples of sorts, you can hop in and start, hammering away. All I wanted to do today, since I'm hanging out here for a short bit on camera, I'm under quarantine like most of us, um, not a whole lot else to do except try to push some bits because I'm always lazy and procrastinating about sitting down and actually getting into the lab, so to speak, and making beats. So the beat that I showed you the other day, the last video I did, I'm going to play that back. I had went through earlier today because I wanted to find some more sounds in my library to apply to this. Still don't even know where I'm taking this track yet, like no freaking clue. I'm just letting it come to me. But I found the bass tones that I want to use, and I found the hi-hats I want to use. So I'm going to try to at least lay a little bit of that in today and expand just a tiny bit and cut it because this video could take hours, and I don't want to do that even for my own vlog. I just want to kind of, but let me drop this in. I want to repeat that. See, now something as basic and plain as that is can actually go a long way. I can do a lot with that. I have some plans, but I cut the lines back by one at the end here so that it actually, if I keep that same set of tracks going, that it rolls on through. I haven't memorized all the key combos because one thing about trackers, unlike DAWs, um, that most people are using, like Logic and Cubase and all that shit, is there's no clicking and dragging sounds around in colorful little boxes. This is meant to be primarily, but not entirely, because you got this shit up here, but primarily keyboard based. Inside of, and I know how to do this in Milky Tracker, but Fast Tracker 2's actual arrangement's a little different here. So this built-in help menu is the shit. I use it from time to time, like especially for effects. I don't have these memorized. These are different than what I had in Milky Tracker as well. But so my current track. Control F4, Control F5. All right, let me try this out. So Control F4. Now I'm going to create a new pattern. Yes. Okay, so there it is. Now I created a whole new pattern, so any edits I make won't change pattern number 1. I got pattern number 2, but it's... So, what I chose from yesterday, I couldn't decide on what I wanted to drop, and I ended up going with, I wanted this pure as hell, so check this out. That shit will slam. That will sound fantastic in my system. And I found an effect. I don't know if I had played this, but I'll be using this. One of those dubstep effects, but I'm not making a dubstep track. I'm going to drop that in at just certain intervals, just that sound. Somewhere around that tone. I called this the Kango hat because it's just, hat. I rock a Kango from time to time, usually at work. I wanted something that had a really nice crispy tinge to it and was open. And then, yeah, that'll fit in certain places. I'm going to move some of that so it's immediately accessible. And I only need it to play once. So I'll just dispose of all that as well. There we go. Okay. So I didn't mean to drop those notes in there. I must have hit record. But that might have been a happy accident. Maybe I'll use it. I'm not going to keep it in this track, but I just want to. I wanted to tie that in with my actual hi-hats, but I didn't plan on basing it off my kick drum, but I don't know, I might not. Yeah. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. Something like that, but I need the hi-hats in there first. So, alright. Speaking of the hi-hats, I want to drop some of those in, figure out how I want this to be. Now, actually, I think E was the retrig on my. I've never done this in Milky Tracker, so this is my. Or I mean, I'm sorry, Fast Tracker. So I'm not 100%, but let me start by dropping. Oops. I guess I could do that with the keyboard too, but I keep forgetting that. I want crispy, so I could go with that. G sharp. Interesting. See, I could go with something spaced out like that, or I could, in fact, oops, leave it there. Let me think. I don't remember the, it's not delete key, I don't remember the thing to cut it after I select a whole joint. Mark the current track, cut the track, Shift F3, okay. Still learning. So with an open hat like that, I don't know if I want to do a spaced out hi-hat or something a little more swift like that. But something about sounds like those. A little trick I learned from my Game Boy chip tuning. We call that technique BitPusher's season that shit up a little bit technique. Where I will hard pan those effects around. Left channel, center, right channel, center, left channel, center, right channel, center. And the reason for that is because it adds what is called stereo width so that it sounds more full instead of so flat. I just don't know how to do it. Just hang with me, I'll get it figured out. I just don't know. I don't remember. I'm not totally sure how to go about doing this. If it does it per line, I think I'm good. Like, this isn't going to matter. So it'd be like right, center, left, center, right, center. Where'd I go? Right, center, left. Well, anyways, I'll figure that out. I'm not going to spend all my time on camera dicking with that. But eventually the idea is one hi-hat plays in the right, then the center, then the left, then the center, and the right. And due to the speed that that's going, you won't really notice it since I'm letting it come back to the center channel on one of those hi-hats per piece there. It won't sound so spacey. It will sound very full because that's a fast set of notes. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but like I said, it was just a little something I picked up in the chip tuning days that was pretty legit. So I can hear that looped again. I'll insert another copy of pattern 2. That little I like that. I might just leave that alone. Okay, so that does work. So interesting. And switch patterns without switching my place on the box here. Very interesting. Didn't know I could do that. So I'm going to keep pattern 2 as it is for now, so that's like a working spot since it has some hi-hats in it. And then this is, do you see how long this has been already? Are you bored yet? Are you even watching this? You'd be kind of crazy to be watching this because I'm not sure I'd be watching this, but this, now granted there are people more experienced, a lot more experienced than me, and yes, I've been at it since 2010, but only been doing desktop tracking since 2018. With Milky Tracker, and it's all about learning the keyboard shortcuts and all that. Now, like I said, I could just pop this in the Milky Tracker and jam along a little bit faster because I'm more comfortable with it, whereas this is new to me. I've never used actual Fast Tracker 2 until now, like until I started the couple of tracks I showed you on the last video. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm still new with this one. That's why this is taking me a while, but you get it? This is the music writing process. This is how it goes. It does take a lot of tinkering and a lot of, some people, like I said, you know, they're more experienced. They can hop in and start cranking some shit out because they have it in their head. They know exactly how to lay it down, whereas I still have to figure out how to lay it down. And then a lot of stuff happens by happy accident, you know, for sure. But so I'm going to make pattern 3. Drop this in. That's why that's going down. I just now realized. I was like, where's that little tinge coming from? I'm going to put some of those in at some point, but what the fuck have I done here? That's why. I was in the wrong effects column. center. Right. Left. I guess since I got that far, let me see if it's actually... It is. It's hard panning. Perfect. Check that out. Listen. Listen, listen. See how much better that sounds with that hard, quick panning? If you listen really close, you can hear it happening. But if you don't and just sit back and take in the beat, now all of a sudden it sounds nice and full. That's a cool little tracker trick. I guess I can just page up it. Now I want to figure out how the bass is going to go. There's going to be a lot of changes throughout the song, but just for closing out this video. And no, quite on purpose, I'm not matching my bank numbers up, my banks with my tracks here. This is the same way I always lay out all of my songs. My basics, first track is always kick, always snare, always hi-hat, then bass. That's just like my personal preference. So as you can tell, it's not necessary for the bank number to match the track number. It's just, you can do it however you want. You can even lay multiple items within a single track. Again, that's not my way necessarily. I've done it. I may do it if I find it particularly convenient for a certain set of sounds, but otherwise, I'm a roll. This is how I roll. Ooh, ooh. You don't know how much I love that shit. If I take it too low, I suppose it's a bass CD though. It's what BitPusher does. I like to get at, since I've been really active with watching him lately and always loved the guy. I wish I could get at Professor Griff, have him send me an acapella and let me drop some boom on that. I'm just going to make it up here and see what happens. Drop one in. How do I want this to go? just about there for that one. Drop another one in there. It's still playing the bass because I did not put a break in there, which is okay because I want to hear it all from the beginning anyway. I didn't insert my effects on this channel. Need to fix that. Need that to be just a bit lower than its counterpart there. How do I go back to, there we go. See how they roll together. Alright, does that sound badass? That shit will just hit in the system so hard. I still have so much to try to figure out, but I won't do that for the video. Not for now. One other thing I do want to do is maybe beef up that snare drum a bit. It was an accident, or it's not an accident I would say, but just screwing around yesterday and sort of accidentally stumbled on a sound like this. Right, so beef this bitch up just a bit. There we go. What do you think? Just a tiny bit. I think once I get a chance to add a little compression just to smooth it a skosh, I like that. I'm going to cut the volume. I'll do that right now while I'm thinking about it. Cut that sucker down just a bit. It's something. That's a start. Get the module as an actual XM module because I'm not ready to export as a wave yet. And oh yes, I just thought of one other thing I did want to do. I was playing with these, and certain sounds are noisy and certain aren't. I actually like the Amiga frequency table. Not totally sure what that means. I never understood it in Milky Tracker because you had sound interpolation. In Milky Tracker, you can choose from a multitude, and there's Amiga 500 frequencies and Amiga 1200 frequencies. Never had the Amiga, excuse me, but some of the cuts that are on Who Is BitPusher, I did them with the Amiga 1200 frequency table because I like the sound of it. It's crispy. The Amiga frequency table on here, I mean, I can only choose linear or Amiga. I don't know which Amiga or what that actually means. If someone's actually that bored to hang out with me and can tell me in the comments what the difference between these two is in Milky Track or Fast Tracker here. I mean, I could hear it in Milky Tracker. This one, though? Let me find out. Gonna need more compression on that for sure. I'm going to leave it on the Amiga frequencies. I like it. So anyway, as a module and XM, I keep them on the desktop until I'm done with them, just because it's again one of my weird ways. This isn't the actual song title. I just called it number 2 because this is the second one I've started so far. This one's not called Rebirth. I just make up nicknames, kind of code names, until I'm ready to actually give them a title, right? So XM as this, save, betcha. Fast tracker sad or fast tracker rules. Every time you exit, they always give you something. Hope you did some good. Press OK to quit. Alright, I won't. Dost thou wish to leave with such hasty abandon? Nah. Tired already? Nah. Alright, look at that. What are we at here? Almost 32 minutes. Cool. That sounds like a vlog to me. If you actually hung out with me through all this, once again, thank you. And check this out. Look, I promise I'm not going to make a video every time I sit down and work on my beats, okay? Like I said, I'm bored, and I felt like doing it. As soon as I kill this, I'm probably going to go get something to drink and then continue working. But I'll probably be more apt to show off the finished products. But while I'm thinking about it, though, like I says, hit up my man, Professor Griff, there and check out that video. God damn. It's got a lengthy ending. I almost wonder if it's actually finished or not, but it's dope, and that man is someone I'm particularly fond of. What else? Yeah, that's it. All right, y'all. See ya. BitPusher is out. Almost. I'll have this memorized someday. I think it's peace. That is what I'm hitting. Apparently, maybe it's because I disabled the key commands. Oh, I turned them off in my keyboards. I can't do that for freaking Fast Tracker. My bad. I know this will work. All right. This time, BitPusher is out.